You sent your contract with you as the buyer's agent for the second time. I'm not sure why you're doing that.
Well, I believe we spoke to, who was it that we spoke to that was by law, we have to have that one. That's state law.
You don't, because that's not true. We just closed on one last week in New Orleans, and that was not required.
Well,
so
they did it wrong, man. Look, I'm the broker here. And,
you're not the buyer's agent, Luis. Luis, listen to me. Listen, you're not the buyer's agent.
Right.
You are not the buyer's agent. You're going to get the fee of the list side, which we already agreed upon. If you want to move forward, we'll redo the contract for a 30-day close. We have the bond for deed language already written in there. You're not an attorney, so we're not going to use your paperwork. You can supply that if you like, no problem. But the attorney's going to draft the bond for deed, not you. Okay? So if you want to move forward, great. Let's do it.
You're absolutely right. I'm not an attorney. You just closed the deal, and there are brokers that do certain things. And look, I want to get the deal closed. I just want to follow proper protocol. That's why I believe we had spoken before that the Louisiana purchase agreement and your agreement will be superseded, just like what's in that agreement. I'm just trying to stay in compliance since it's currently listed. But look, man. I deal a lot with the Latin community. I do a TV show.
Okay, yeah, let's not talk about you being on TV. That doesn't really matter to me. I'm talking about what we can get done.
This just shows my reputation, man. Look, I just want to do it right.
Okay.
We can call an attorney. And if you and we put him on three-way. Whatever he says, if he says that we don't need a Louisiana purchase agreement, you just sign a waiver and just says, hey, look, I'm not using your purchase agreement.
So for simplicity's sake, this is how I see it going down. And I'm happy to make, it compliant on your end. So step number one, we're going to resend you our agreement with the new dates on it. Mm-hmm. The bond for deed verbiage that you wanted, where it supersedes the contract, is already in section 1.14. You can verify that. Have your seller sign that agreement. Well, then we're going to go open title. Okay. Once we've opened title, then at that point, let's have a conversation with title. Do they require a state contract? If they do, then we'll send your contract and then we'll sign it happily. No problem. I just want to make sure that we're not doing things for no reason that are just hanging this up. I just don't want to keep going back and forth. So I'm happy to get whatever for compliance. If they do, great, we'll sign that. If they don't, great. That doesn't matter. We're good to go. Then we'll get the bond for deed drafted and we'll move to close. Those are the steps. If you're good with that, I'll get this out the door.
All right, man. Get it out the door and let's get it signed today.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Thank you for your patience.